So when you moved in with the Woodruffs and it was long term and whatever, how did the extended family and friends treat you?
I feel like they didn't treat us negatively. I know some of them were not very fond of the idea of foster care at some point, at one point at least. And then after they like got to know us, like I feel like they were fine. Like they've never like disrespected us.
Yeah, like from the jump, like our grandma's like, "Hi, I'm grandma."
Oh yeah,
Like she was the only person that I think we called like by the given title.
It's because we didn't have a grandma growing up. It's not like we had
Right.
anybody to call
So
grandma to.
yeah, so we never called her by her name. It was always grandma since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like our uncles are just like very fond of us. They're very protective.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, loved us. Never really had issues.
Mm-hmm.
With our parents' friends or anything like that. And yeah.
No, I remember like Uncle Dan like took us to a Xavier's basketball game. Like he didn't have to do that, but
Right.
he did. So like we said, like I feel like our extended family has definitely been supportive of it.
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, at the beginning they were kind of weary, but then as time went on, they love us like their own.
And I know that's not the case for all foster people trying to do foster care. I know that's not always the case. So don't think it's going to be all peaches and cream when you go into it. Like you you may get some backlash from extended family, and that's going to take constant conversation saying, okay, like that's cool, you have that opinion. I'm still going to do foster care. Like my dad just recently said right now, you don't have to like it, but you need to be cordial. So you need to make sure you have conversations and just let that out there, because at the end of the day it's your decision. Like you shouldn't let somebody who says, oh, that's a dumb idea, skew you away from what you want to do.
So when you have, this is leading into that, extended family where you guys are going to get together, what would you suggest that foster parents maybe say to their other family? Don't just show up with them, or should they speak with them beforehand? So,
Yeah, I guess that is a good point. Like for the, I guess, are you asking like the families who may be against it almost?
Or anybody, should they just show up? Oh, hey, here's 2 more kids and never tell them, or right? Like,
yeah, I feel like that would definitely be
because how would you have felt if you would have showed up and nobody knew you were coming, and they'd be like,
who are these? Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. Like that would be weird. So you should definitely tell everybody that you are doing foster care. Like I said before, like most people who do foster care have like a village around them. Like they have the people that they know or that knows that they are doing foster care. So I feel like you should definitely let that be known to the public, because you don't want to just, like you're saying, just walk up randomly and they're like, oh, who are these 2 random kids? And then it goes back to what we said before. Then that's when you would have to say, oh, they're my foster kids, and they don't want that. Right. And so I definitely feel like you should tell people.
And going with that scenario, so we're talking about a family reunion or whatever. I think that's a perfect opportunity to talk to them and be like, hey, like, I do have these kids, these are things you can and cannot say, because some people just may not have a filter or may not think that what they say or ask is inappropriate when it is. So I felt like that's a good opportunity to be like, if you do have a question but you're not sure, we can talk about it later. But just don't be like weird about it.
I know when we had another placement, and being a teacher, they didn't want the other kids to know they're in foster care, and you guys, you said you don't want to be like, hey, it's foster. One thing that I would say is like, oh, I'm helping their mom out. Right. What would be a good thing that foster parents could say? Because people are going to wonder, right? Especially if they're like you and you're not even the same color, right? It's obvious that something different's going on. What would you suggest that foster parents do to introduce them, or when people do ask questions, and maybe it's just they're curious, right? But what's a good way to make it less awkward for the foster kids?
I don't know. I feel like what you were saying, like, oh, I'm helping their mom out, and like just leave it like that at first, and then maybe once the foster kid like leaves the room or leaves the area, then you can further explain it. Or before it even gets to that point, just explain it to him before. I guess that's harder though if you're like walking down the street or something and somebody just walks up to you.
They're just staying with us for a while.
Yeah.
I
feel like just making it seem like maybe it's one of like your bio kid's friend, not saying it's one of your bio kid's friends, but you can just act like, oh, like they're a close family friend, like they stay with us all the time, or oh, I'm just helping them out for a while, like you're saying. And then like if they have further questions and like call or text you, I wouldn't tell
them. Would you suggest
that
foster parents think of this ahead of time?
Like, yeah, for sure, because it's
right?
gonna come up, and then you're gonna be like, oh crap, I didn't prep for this. This is the one thing I forgot about. And so you definitely want to prepare for that. So.
Yeah.